My biggest regret. Oh man. Well, so recently I asked you guys over on Instagram to ask me anything to answer for a video. Well, today is that video. But firstly, if you're not following me on Instagram, what are you doing? Make sure you go do it right now. PokeDean_. Whoever has PokeDean, please let me have the handle. In today's video, I'm answering all of those questions from Pokemon, YouTube, personal, everything. So this is a 50 facts about me type video. Let's get into it. So question number 1, have you ever considered expanding Collector's Cardhouse into multiple physical locations or even expanding into the US? Well, we're just about to open up our first one. So if you guys didn't know, Collector's Cardhouse, the physical store, is opening April the 13th. Make sure you come to the opening date. The first week is going to be crazy. There's going to be some awesome stuff for you guys to get your hands on, so do not miss out on that. But if everything goes to plan, hopefully the store is a success, then yeah, definitely would love to expand to different locations and maybe expand to different countries as well, including America, if that ever becomes a possibility. How stressful is it opening up a brick and mortar? Kudos though, real inspiration. Well, as we're recording this, technically we haven't opened yet, so I don't know what stress is going to happen once it's open, but I'm sure there'll be some sort of things. But in terms of getting it ready, it's been pretty stressful, just getting everything ready in time, and I guess paying for things. Things are very expensive, but yeah, very much looking forward to it opening, and hopefully there's no stress, but I'm sure there'll be some in some sort of way. What was your inspiration for getting into Pokemon cards? Honestly, I've loved Pokemon since I was a kid, like probably since like the age of 8. So I grew up with the first ever base set, which was incredible. Honestly, it was so much fun opening packs as a kid. But I mean, recently, obviously, I kind of like growing up, not fell out of love with Pokemon, but I kind of just had different things and different interests. But getting back into it, I definitely would say the summer of 2016 played a big part with Pokemon Go. I literally loved playing that game when it first came out. But then also in the same year, Pokemon released a set called XY Evolutions, which was basically a reprint of base set. So opening up that set gave me that feeling of like I was opening up base set as a kid again. And then I guess just through watching PokeRev when he first started out, and even the likes of Ando as well, I really enjoyed watching them, and I still do. But those were probably the 2 YouTubers that I was watching the most in terms of Pokemon content. For Pokemon, what started it all for you? Was it the anime, the cards, or the video games? For me, it all started with the Pokemon games. I will never forget this moment or memory in that my nan, when I was a kid, bought me my first ever Game Boy Color. It was green, and she bought me the Pokemon Red game, and I pretended to be ill. Kids, don't copy me, by the way. And to make me feel better, she gave me my Game Boy and Pokemon Red during the day, and I swear down, I never turned that game off. I was hooked. Literally played it for like 2 days straight. And yeah, I picked Charmander as my starter. Charizard became my favorite Pokemon, and from that moment I was hooked. I started watching the anime. I wanted to collect the cards. I needed the Charizard card, and the rest was history. What made you decide to start doing Pokemon content creation? Well, I'm a very creative person. Like, I love making content, and Pokemon has always been something that has found like the nostalgia feeling and enjoyment in my life. So I kind of wanted to fuse 2 of my passions together and hopefully bring something cool to this community. Worst Pokemon for me. I have to say Klefki is definitely one of my least favorite Pokemon. Sandygast is another one, and then for a third, I'd probably go Probopass. I mean, what is that? It's like a Mario looking rock. What is my best card in my collection? My best card in my collection has to be my #1 trainer card right here. So lucky to own this card. If you want to see how I got it, the video is on my channel. Most memorable moment in the Pokemon TCG journey thus far. I've actually been very fortunate enough to have some incredible moments from, like I mentioned, going to London Worlds for the first time. Japan last year was one of the best trips I've ever had in my life. Some incredible moments with some incredible people. But in terms of probably the biggest moment, like I mentioned, it kind of ties in with the last question, was getting the #1 graded, and it got a PSA 10. Like I said, it's in that video, and my reaction is just priceless. Aside from Pokemon, what other hobbies do you have? So I have a few hobbies. Playing football, so that's soccer for you US viewers. I actually had a channel on YouTube before I did Pokemon that was around football, as you can see. I even used to collaborate with my favorite football club, which is Chelsea Football Club, as well, which was awesome. And then in terms of other hobbies, I love music. Music is something that I don't think I could live without. I've always grown up very close to music. I studied music at school. If you know me, I'm always singing and dancing. If you catch me at a car show, you'll probably catch me dancing and singing at some point. But yeah, music is something that I really love doing because it just kind of helps like with creativity for me. And then other than that, I like dancing, fitness. I've been really trying to up my fitness recently. And then I guess like jewelry, as you can see, I'm repping some jewelry, and art and fashion. I like those sort of things. So there's some passions and hobbies that I have other than Pokemon. What is your goal for the future of my channel? That's a good question. My goal, honestly, it's just to take more risks. I really want to get out of my comfort zone and try different things. Like I said, I want to try and bring something a little bit unique to the Pokemon community. If I'm honest, I just want to make the best content that I feel like I can make and bring to you guys. Hopefully you guys are enjoying my content. And then other than that, I just hope my channel becomes a really cool place where we can make an awesome community. And we already have. You guys are amazing. And I see in the streams, we're all starting to build like this really close-knit family, which is awesome. And then I guess hopefully just bring as many people along with me on my journey of Pokemon. If you could only open one Pokemon set for the remainder of your collecting days, what would it be? I genuinely get this asked so much, and it's always a very difficult question to answer, and my answer is always changing, but I'd probably say right now I would probably pick Expedition from the WotC era. I love that set. You got the Charizard, you got some really cool cards as well, and there's that Mew and Mewtwo, which are just stunning. How do you decide which cards to keep and which cards to sell? Honestly, I am the worst person to ask this question because I keep more cards than I probably should, if I'm honest. But I would say keep the cards that you have like a sentimental attachment to, unlike me where I have a sentimental attachment to everything. But yeah, collect those cards, collect cards that mean a lot to you, and then probably just collect cards that you think might have a good return of investment in the future. Maybe like alt arts or something like that. But if, in my opinion, don't keep everything because you just have nowhere to keep it. What has been the most fulfilling part of the hobby, and what is something you wish you could change around it? The most fulfilling part of this whole hobby is probably, I'd say, traveling the world and sharing some amazing moments with my best friends. It is really fun, and I'm very grateful to be able to do so. And yeah, I guess other than that, meeting some incredible people along the way, like whether they're still around or not, I'm very grateful. Did you plan on traveling so much when you first started collecting Pokemon, and what are some of your favorite places collecting Pokemon has taken you? That's a good question. No, if I'm being honest, I didn't think Pokemon would ever get me out and traveling around the world as much as it has in the last couple of years. And literally, I've been to some really cool places. I always love going to America. It's one of my favorite places, and I always see some incredible people out there. But other than that, I would probably say my most memorable, or maybe my favorite place that Pokemon has taken me, it's definitely got to be Japan. I've always wanted to go to Japan, and last year I was able to go, and that trip was just, honestly, it was so good. I saw some incredible cards. I hung out with some amazing people, and I got up to some mischief, some fun, and that place is just an incredible place. I need to go back again sometime. What's the one purchase you turned down that you regret most in Pokemon? My biggest regret? I guess, I mean, I try not to live with regret, because it is what it is at the end of the day. But if I had to pick something, I'd probably say that it was not picking up a Mario and Luigi Pika boxes a couple years ago. They've definitely gone up in price. I really want them still, but they're not at the price that I'm willing to pay at the moment. So yeah, that is probably, if I had to pick something, I mean, I could probably get them at some point, but it's one of those things where it's like, damn, I could have got that for a little bit cheaper if I picked it up back then. But it is what it is, and like I said, just try not to live with regret. What's my dream YouTube collaboration? To be fair, I've been very fortunate enough to collaborate with some of the world's biggest YouTubers, and to be honest, some of those have been my best videos. I always really enjoy collaborating with people. I think it brings out like a different element. It makes the video a little bit different. So if I had to pick someone, I would probably say, I'd probably go like, well, it depends what I'm going for. I could go like down the Mr. Beast route, because I feel like we could probably do something that has never been done before, or just make something pretty incredible in terms of a video. But then if I had to go outside of Pokemon, I'd probably pick someone like David Dobrik, or maybe like Chris Brown, and just do something completely different. Because I think that would be pretty cool as well. Is Moonbryon from Evolving Skies still going to be popular in a couple years? Honestly, I think that card is always going to be popular. I think when you look back at the Sword and Shield era, I definitely think it's going to be the most memorable card from that era, because it had so much hype around it, and it still does. It's a very sought after card, so I definitely think in a couple of years it's going to be one of the more popular cards and especially attached to the Sword and Shield era. I think that is the go-to card when it comes to all of those sets from the Sword and Shield era. When out in public, do you often get recognized by fans? Do you always have extra cards in your pockets for fans? Sometimes, yeah. It's quite interesting because obviously before Pokemon or my PokeDean channel, I had another YouTube channel. So I get recognized from different like eras of my YouTube journey. So it's pretty cool to see how far someone's been like following me, because I speak to people who used to watch me before the Pokemon content and then also during and since the Pokemon content. So yeah, it's pretty cool. But in terms of cards in my pockets, no, I don't do that. But I'm always happy to talk and take a picture. If all gold stars were the same, what would be your favorite? It's a good question. I absolutely love gold stars. I think they're incredible. But for me, it's in this order. So we'll go gold star Charizard, gold star Mewtwo, gold star Mew, gold star Pikachu, gold star Rayquaza, and then I'll go gold star Gyarados. Let me know if you agree. What's the biggest change you made to do YouTube full-time, and when do you know you're ready? Again, I'm probably the worst person to ask when it comes to giving advice for this, because I do it in the most unprofessional way. But when it comes to me, I just decide that this is something I want to do and that I'm going to do everything in my power to make it happen. When I want something, I go out and get it. And in terms of when will you know if you're ready, in my honest opinion, you never know when it's ready. There's never a perfect time. So just don't waste any time. Start that thing that you want to start. Jump off that diving board and just make some progress. Something that's always stuck to me is that my nan used to always say to me, just go for it. So that's what I'm gonna do. Is there a card you would trade a family member for? Oh my god, damn. My family's quite small, to be fair. I don't have any brothers or sisters, so I can't trade in an annoying brother or an annoying sister. And then there's my mum, who is just my world. Like, there's no Pokemon on the card that I would ever trade for my mum. So mum, if you're watching, you got no problems. I'm not trading you in. Plus, if there's a card I want, I would just work until I can afford it. What's the hardest thing about your job? For me, one of the hardest things is that there are a lot of sacrifices. Late nights, it can get lonely sometimes. You gotta have a hard shell because people on the internet are very opinionated. But yeah, there's a lot of things you have to juggle and balance, and it gets quite difficult sometimes. But if I'm being honest, I love this. This is something I've always wanted to do. It's my passion, and I wouldn't change anything because this is just what I love to do. Do you collect anything other than Pokemon, or do you think you'll always do Pokemon? I collect a little bit of Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball is one of my favorite animes. I've grew up with that as well alongside Pokemon, but I don't really go as heavy into it as much as I do with Pokemon. I think for this channel, it will always just predominantly be Pokemon. So yeah, if you guys collect anything else, let me know in the comment section down below. Have you ever been burned out or been close to, and how did you manage it? Yeah, I have. I've been burnt out before. As you guys may have known, I had a channel before I did Pokemon, which was around FIFA and football. And in that channel, I got very burnt out towards the end. And it was just pretty much because I fell out of love with it. And I think that is the main culprit for burnout, is that if you don't enjoy something you're doing, and this is maybe just me, if I don't enjoy something, I'm just gonna stop doing it. I can't fake and do something that I don't enjoy and pretend that I like it. So yeah, like if I don't like something, I'm just gonna stop and try something new. And I'm so glad and so happy that I swapped FIFA and started this Pokemon channel. It's literally been one of the best decisions I've ever done. So in terms of managing it as well, I think always try and find ways to keep yourself inspired. I always am looking for new things to inspire me, whether that's online or going out to places and meeting people and stuff like that. So I think if you can stay inspired, it definitely helps with your like creativity, and then keeping you kind of like in the zone of like wanting to make content and stuff like that. I always say, if there's something you're passionate about, literally just go for it. Just try and get involved in that space or whatever it is as much as possible. So yeah, try and find new ways to inspire yourself, or find ways to keep you passionate about the things you're passionate about. Where do you see yourself in 5 years from now with Pokemon? In terms of Pokemon, hopefully this channel is doing really well. Hopefully you guys are still enjoying watching my content. I want the TCG store, Collector's Card House, to be a success, continuing to go on awesome trips with my best friends, and hopefully sharing some more incredible moments, and maybe adding some spicy cards along the way in my collection. Like, I really want a Snap Charmander. That is like the top of my grail list right now. My chase cards for 2024, I've got a few. I want the Zard EX from Fire Red Leaf Green. This card is eluding me right now. I'd love to get a Shining Charizard in a PSA 10. I would also, as mentioned, I really want a Snap Charmander. That's probably at the top of my list in terms of the most expensive card for my my Grail cards. What sets from Scarlet and Violet are the best to invest in? As of recording this, I would probably say the two best sets to invest in from the Scarlet and Violet era is probably, I'd probably say Pokemon 151 and then PokeDean Fates. Those are 2 really good sets with some big cards in as well. So there might be some better ones in the future, but right now, PokeDean Fates and 151 for sure. Are you coming to Chicago Collecticon this year? I really want to go. I really want to go. I think it's the week before my birthday as well, so I'm going to try and make it out to that one for sure. If you could have any master set from the EX era, which would you have and why? I'm torn between 2. There are 2 sets that I really want from the EX era, and that is Fire Red Leaf Green and then Holland Phantoms, because you have the gold stars in that set, the Pika, the Mewtwo, and the Gyarados. That would be an incredible set. So yeah, one of those 2. I'll take either, but I'd actually take both as well. I kind of want them both. How did I meet Chloe? Well, let me get her to explain it.
How did I meet Dean? I met Dean on the internet. Just this weird, scary bloke that I met on the internet. No, not quite, but yeah, quite actually. He wasn't weird or scary, but I did meet him on the internet. We met through eBay. I actually sold Dean some master sets. I think it was Secret Wonders and Supreme Victors, I think. And yeah, after that, I think I realized that he was doing like YouTube videos on Pokemon, so I watched a few of his like live streams and stuff, and then I actually invited him to come over and open a vintage box. I think it was a first edition Fossil booster box on my channel, and we've been besties ever since.
Channel content goals for 2024. Probably to hit 50,000 subscribers. That would be pretty cool, because I have a Skyridge pack that I really want to open, and I'm not opening it unless I hit 50,000 subscribers on my channel. Do more vintage box breaks. I have so much fun opening up the older sets with you guys on stream, and then just make content that I've never made before. I'm going to definitely try and experiment a lot more this year, so hopefully you guys enjoy the content that comes out. Like I said, I'm going to try and do some different stuff every now and then, and hopefully you guys rock with it. If you weren't doing TCGs, what do you think you'd be doing? Like I said, I'm a very creative person, so I always feel like I'm going to be on YouTube. Like, I've always been on YouTube, whether it's Pokemon or not. I love making content. But it could probably, if it wasn't to do with Pokemon, I'd probably do something to do with either music or maybe like fashion. I really like those sort of things. There are other passions, like I mentioned, so it'd probably be around that sort of thing. Biggest fear. Wow, this is getting deep. Okay, this is getting a little personal. One of my biggest fears is fear of failing. I really have a fear of failing. That's why I always just try and do my best. I don't like to be alone or idle. When I feel like I'm not progressing in something, it like really gets to me. So I'm always trying to kind of keep moving and doing cool things and stuff like that. So yeah, I just like to surround myself around good people. Favorite Charizard card full art, and be specific. Full art. If it's a full art, I'd have to go for the Shiny Charizard GX from Hidden Fates. That is a cool card. Probably the best full art there is. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree in the comment section. Give me your favorite one. What card shows are you excited for in 2024? I'm definitely looking forward to Card Party Gen 2. That is going to be awesome. And then I would definitely have to say going to Hawaii for the first time for the 2024 Worlds. That's going to be awesome as well. So yeah, there's 2 events that I'm very much looking forward to. Are you looking forward to your visit to Germany? So I recently went to Germany. Germany was a lot of fun. It was good to be back in that country, to be fair. I haven't been there for a while, so very cool. I got to meet Arita again. Got a legendary collection reverse holo Zard signed as well, which is now one of my favorite cards. Hopefully it comes back from PSA soon, but yeah, very cool trip. My only annoyance was I was looking for some of my favorite sweets that are from Germany, but I couldn't find them this time. Hey Dean, what would you say your favorite Pokemon memory was growing up as a child? One of my favorite memories was probably, as mentioned, playing Pokemon Red for the first time around my nan's, and then like I said, I used to just love playing and watching Pokemon around my nan's after school. Pokemon Snap on Nintendo 64, I love that game, so that is definitely one of my favorite memories, was playing that on a Nintendo 64. But yeah, they're probably some of my early memories, was definitely playing on Pokemon Red. That game had me in a headlock. I literally felt like I was in a different world playing that game. It was so good. Apart from all arts, what is your favorite card from the Sword and Shield era? Mine is definitely the Leon's Charizard Trainer Gallery. For me, it's definitely got to be that if it's not an all art, I have to go for, and this technically doesn't count as an alt art because it's a Galarian Gallery card, but it's the Mewtwo V-Star Fighting Charizard from Crown Zenith. That card is insane. So That's probably one of my favorites. But then other cards that I actually never pulled is probably the Charizard VMAX Rainbow Rare and the Shiny Charizard V from Champion's Path. I've never pulled those, but they are some of my favorite cards from the Sword and Shield era. And then I would probably go for Celebrations that has the classic Charizard and then also the shiny gold Mew. That card is insane. So they're some of my favorites. Will you be getting big names to come to the shop for signings? I mean, never say never. Hopefully in the future, that would be absolutely insane. So just gonna have to watch this space. What is your favorite thing about your Pokemon collection in total? For me, the most favorite thing about my collection is the nostalgia and the memories it brings. I could pick up a card that I haven't seen in so long and it just takes me back to that certain place, whether I pulled it or if I was at an event or a moment in time when that card was in my possession. So yeah, I really love the nostalgia and memories that it brings. What's the spiciest Charizard in your collection? I've never shown it. I've literally never shown it. Maybe one day I'll show you a video of my Charizard collection, but yeah, you have to wait and see. And then finally, just a shout out to you, Dean. Always good vibes and doing the UK proud. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Honestly, guys, the community we're building around here on this channel and just in the community in general is insane. I'm having such a blast on this channel and bringing you guys with me along my Pokemon journey. Genuinely cannot wait to get up to some cool stuff this year. Like I said, so many trips planned and some other cool moments too. So hopefully we continue to grow on this channel and this community that we're building gets bigger and better as well. So hope you guys have enjoyed this. This has been 50 Facts. I'll catch you in the next video. But until then, peace.